So without further ado, here's my conversation with the Korean zombie, Chan Sung-jung. All right. Obviously, we couldn't have this return show without this man. He stole our hearts just a couple of weeks ago in Singapore. He's one of the all-time greats, one of the most popular fighters in the history of mixed martial arts. And not that long ago, he called it a career after his fight against Max Holloway. You know him. He is Chan Sung-jung. He's the Korean zombie. Thank you so much, Zombie, for joining us. I really, really appreciate you coming on here and talking about your great career in the fight against Max.
일단은 정말 너무 인기가 많고 그 세계적인 MMA 파이터인 찬성님 이 쇼에 나와서 너무 감사드리고 싱가포르에서 정말 모두의 심장을 앗아갔는데 이 맥스 할로웨이와의 시합 관련해서 또 얘기하려고 이 쇼에 나오신 거 감사하다.
나도 고맙고 다른 사람은 몰라도 헬라니 쇼는 무조건 나와야죠.
Thank you for having me. I don't know about any other show, but if it's for Ariel Hawani, I'm always open to get on his show.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I watched your amazing video that you posted on your YouTube channel, which is fantastic, by the way. You're doing incredible stuff over there, and I urge everyone to check it out. And so I'd like to ask you kind of a follow-up about something that you said at the beginning of the video. Now that it's been, 10 or so days since the fight, has reality sunk in? The fact that your career is over, that you're no longer a UFC fighter, that you're not fighting, you don't have a fight to prepare for, to think about, has that reality officially sunk in?
사실 그 유튜브에 되게 영상 재밌는 거 많이 올려서 자기도 잘 보고 있고 그 주변 인물들한테도 좀 이렇게 추천을 하고 있는데 그 최근에 올린 인터뷰에서 이제 그 말씀을 하셨던 게 좀 실감이 안 난다 이런 얘기를 했는데 지금 이제 은퇴한 지 한 열흘 좀 넘었는데 이제 좀 실감이 나시는 거죠.
그러니까 나도 이게 나는 이제 언제든지 싸울 수 있다는 마음이 이제 없으니까 나는 선수가 아닌 게 좀 실감이 좀 안 나고 이게 무슨 마음인지 모르겠는데 더 이상 싸울 수 없다는 게 좀 되게 이상해.
So my life has always been me being able to fight whenever I wanted to fight. But after retirement, I mean, the fact that I can't fight anymore, even if I wanted to, the fact that, there's no more fight that I could do in the future, it's kind of confusing for me. It hasn't sunk in yet. So, I feel very weird right now.
Did you know going into the fight that this would be your last one, win or lose, or did you decide in that moment?
저기 시합 들어갈 때 은퇴를 하겠다 안 하겠다 뭐 결정을 해놓고 들어갔는지 아니면 그 순간에 은퇴가 결정이 됐는지.
나는 분명히 한국에서 한 번 더 시합을 하고 싶었고 이번에 할로웨이를 이기게 되면 사실 야이르 올테가 이렇게 싸우고 싶었어요.
So I definitely wanted to open an event in Korea because, I'm the only person that could open a main event in Korea. So if I beat Max Holloway, then I wanted to fight Brian Ortega or Yair Rodriguez. So that was my plan, but turned out I retired after the Holloway fight.
And so I feel like you can still headline that event. I feel like they would still do that card and you could still be the main event and everyone would be very excited to watch you fight in Korea. Ultimately, why did you make the decision right now to walk away?
지금도 메인 이벤트를 충분히 한국에서 열 역량이 있어 보이는데 왜 은퇴를 결정을 했는지.
이번에는 할로웨이 시합 때 모든 것이 다 기억이 나는데 분명히 세컨드 라운드에는 내가 피했다고 생각했는데 내가 이제 다운되고 퍼스트 라운드에도 막 흔들리고 마지막에도 못 그렇고 그러니까 내 머리가 더 이상 이렇게 버텨주지 못한다 이거를 많이 느꼈어요. 뭐 내가 지금 누구라고 얘기는 하지 않겠지만 뭐 그런 파이터들이 많잖아요. 이런 옛날에 맷집 엄청 셌던 파이터들이 뭐 요즘에는 막 많이 맞고 뭐 이렇게 바로 다운되고 근데 그거를 이제 부정하게 되면 뭐 그런 선수들이 돼.
So the funny thing about this fight is I remember every single second of the fight, from the moment that I got dropped to every single punch I threw, every single punch that hit me. In the second round when I got dropped, I saw the punch coming. I thought I dodged it, but I was dropped. So I was like, what hit me? In the first round, I was wobbled a little bit. And the third round, everybody saw I got knocked down. So, after, experiencing these moments, I felt that I don't have that chin anymore. And, I've been having brain damage for over the years. So I don't have that chin anymore. I'm not going to say any names, but there are fighters who, when they were young, they used to have a really good chin. But then as they get older, they get brain damage and their chin gets weaker and they get frequently dropped. But then if the fighter fails to acknowledge the fact that they got old and their chin got weaker, then, the end isn't as lovely. So I didn't want to become that fighter. So I decided to retire at that moment.
Do you recall throughout your life and obviously as a fighter watching some of these fighters maybe stick around too long and saying to yourself, I don't want to be that guy? I mean, your last fight prior to this was for the belt, and here you are fighting, arguably the second best featherweight on the planet, not named Alex Volkanovski, Max Holloway, the former champion. And so you're still fighting the very best at the very top of the game. You could stick around. And I'm just wondering if at one point in your career you said, I don't want to be that guy who sticks around and loses 5, 6 in a row, and then it gets uncomfortable talking about the state of his career.
사실 지금 찬성님 상대를 보면은 그 전 시합은 사실 타이틀전이었고 이번에도 사실 볼카novski 빼고 전 세계에서 가장 강한 페더급 선수하고 싸운 거고 정말 탑 랭커들하고만 싸워왔는데 그럼에도 불구하고 이제 커리어 중에 그 다른 선수들이 이제 싸우는 걸 보면서 이 선수들이 뭔가 그걸 인정을 못하고 막 5번, 6번씩 연속으로 지면서 그런 걸 보면서 아, 내가 저렇게 하면 되지 말아야겠다 하는 순간이 있었는지.
그러니까 이번에 시합이 끝나고 딱 그런 생각이 들었어요. 사실 격투기도 뭐 내가 안 맞고 시합을 하는 거지만 아예 안 맞고 시합을 할 수는 없다고 나는 생각을 하고 하는 사람이고, 그게 보태주지 못하면 안 하는 게 맞고, 그리고 이런 탑들 넘버 원, 투, 쓰리, 이 사람들을 내가 뭐 이긴다면 나도 이제 챔피언이 목표인 사람이기 때문에 하겠지만 그게 아니면 아마 다른 선수들한테 질 수도 있으니까 그거는 조금 이제 그걸 잃어버렸다고 생각해요.
I mean, during this fight, I did recognize the fact that I don't have the chin. I mean, you know, being frequently dropped and getting punched very lightly but then getting dropped means I'm not going to be able to make it to fights in the future. I mean, and I've been fighting the top rank fighters in the featherweight division, but if I fail to beat these guys, I mean, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, and Alex Volkanovski, ultimately, then my goal of becoming a champion is very hard to achieve. So me having a weak chin plus being very difficult for me being very difficult to become a champion is why I decided to retire at that moment.
My perception in the third round, I'm just curious if it's accurate, was you were just saying, like, let me just go for it. Let me try to hit a home run here. And it felt like you really overextended yourself. And then unfortunately, you fought fire with fire and he ended up stopping you. Was that your mentality going into the third round, that you just wanted to, as they say, kind of, die on your shield, so to speak, fall on the sword?
3라운드에 어떻게 보면은 내가 어떻게든 홈런을 쳐야겠다라는 마인드로 이렇게 좀 무리해서 들어가신 것 같고 약간 이제 그러니까 불 대 불로 이열치열의 어떤 느낌으로 전략을 이제 들고 나오신 것 같은데 내가 그냥 방패를 버리고 검으로 그냥 싸우다가 장렬히 산화하겠다 약간 이런 마인드로 3라운드를 진입을 하셨는데
조금 클래식 좀비로 가고 싶었고, WC 첫 번째 경기를 본 사람들은 알겠지만 그게 내 스타일이고, 그렇게 나서도 완전히 다운되고 그렇게 넉아웃을 치고 나서도 아쉬웠지만 후회는 없었어요. 그냥 처음 시작했던 대로 마무리도 그렇게 할 수 있어서 행복했습니다.
I definitely wanted to show the crowd the classic zombie. I mean, if the fans watched my first fight in the WEC, that's how I fought originally. So I kind of wanted to put on a show for the fans and go back to the old version of me and, put on a show. So I kind of like went out the way I came in this organization, and I'm happy that the fight went as it is.
And the walkout was incredible. I mean, your walkouts are always incredible, but this one felt extra special. Could you describe what was going on in your mind? You're standing there, you're singing with everyone, you're taking it all in. What is going on in your mind, and how emotional is that moment for you as you're about to step in there and actually fight someone, having to go from taking this all in, showering yourself with all the praise, and then getting into fight mode?
워크인 이제 그러니까 경기장 입장하셨을 때 뭐 굉장한 장면들이 연출이 됐는데 사람들 막 다 노래 따라 부르고 그 찬사님도 거기 서가지고 같이 노래 부르고 했는데 이제 싸움을 앞두고 있는 그 상황으로서 그렇게 노래를 다 같이 따라 부르고 갑자기 또 사람을 싸워야 되고 이런 것들이 전반적으로 봤을 때 감정적으로 어떤 느낌이었죠?
아니 일단 너무 좋았고 당연히 즐겨야 되고, 이거 프로 시합이니까 그런 건 당연히 즐겨야 된다고 생각을 하고, 사실 준비한 것도 아니고 그냥 걸어가다 보니까 그냥 즐기고 싶었어요. 그냥 사람들이 너무 좋아해주고 그래서 싱가포르랑 뭐 한국 팬들이 거기 한국 사람들 거의 한 6, 70% 정도 될 것 같은데 한국 팬들과 싱가포르 팬들이 진짜 너무 고마워요. 너무 고맙게 생각하고 있어요.
I mean, the fighting aspect of me being a professional MMA fighter, of course, I need to be able to enjoy the fighting part. But I didn't really have any practice. As I walked in, everybody was, singing along the zombie song. So I just kind of wanted to, absorb all that energy and just, go with the flow and enjoy with the crowd the walkout. It was lovely. It was amazing, and the fans at Singapore and the Korean fans that were at Singapore to watch the event, maybe like 60-70% of the crowd I felt was Korean. They were all very lovely and they gave me a great experience.
What, if anything, were you thinking about? It was very emotional seeing you on your knees afterwards when you took your gloves off. You were obviously very emotional. You were crying, and it was hard for us to watch you in that moment because you're so beloved. Were you thinking about anything in that moment, or was that just you, letting it all out and not really having any thoughts?
장갑을 이제 옥타곤 중앙에 두고 이제 절을 올리셨잖아요. 그러면서 이렇게 좀 눈물도 흘리시고 했는데 그 당시 그 감정이 뭐 어떤 생각을 하고 있었는지 아니면은 그냥 감정을 다 쏟아내고 뭐별 생각 없이 그렇게 되었는지.
글러브를 내려놨을 때 내려놓기 전까지 사실 괜찮았는데 내려놓고 나니까 와 이거 되게 와 저도 처음 느껴보는 감정이었어요. 이거를 끝났다 생각을 하니까. 그리고 너무 고마운 것들이 많죠. UFC 글러브나 UFC나 그런 감정이었던 것 같아요. 감사하다. 너무 행복한 삶을 살았다.
Before I put the gloves down, I didn't really feel anything. But after I put the glove down on the octagon canvas and bowed down right beside the glove, it was an emotion that I've never felt before. I mean, being at the end of a chapter in your life is something that's very unexplainable. I mean, and at the same time, I felt gratitude towards the UFC and the UFC glove as well, because it gave me one heck of a life. So that was the emotion I was feeling.
And your walk back to the locker room was very unique. They don't usually play the music of the guy who's competing back out into the locker room, and so to see that happen, and then to hear the crowd sing the song again as you're walking out, and you're with your wife, I believe, and the fans are all over you, and they're taking your glove and all this stuff. Like, are you even cognizant of what's happening in this moment? I know you just were in a fight and unfortunately it didn't go your way, but that whole scene and even on the broadcast was so unique. We've never seen something like that before. Are you aware of what's happening, or is it all just kind of surreal in that moment?
이게 걸어 나가셨을 때 사실 엄청났잖아요. 정말 이례적으로 싸움이 끝나고 돌아가는 사람의 노래를 틀어줬고, 그리고 막 팬들도 막 난리 나고 장갑 가져가고 막 이러고 있었는데, 이 모든 것들이 사실 미국 방송상에서도 정말 이례적이고 이런 건 경우는 처음 본다 이렇게 얘기하고 있었는데, 뭐 이게 어떤 감정이 들었는지 뭐 예.
진짜 웃긴 게 타이밍이 노래가 내가 약간 나오는 타이밍이 갑자기 좀비 타이밍 노래 나오는 타이밍이더라고요. 그런 것도 사실 생각한 것도 아니고 그리고 노래를 틀어 준 것도 너무 감사하게 생각하고 그리고 우리 와이프가 사실 한국의 와이프는 다른 나라의 와이프들이랑 좀 달라요. 남자를 위해서 되게 헌신을 하고 저한테 사실 저는 파이트할 때는 파이트만 하지 아무것도 안 해요. 뭐 서류를 작성하는 거나 돈에 대한 거나 세금에 대한 문제나 이런 거 다 와이프가 다 처리하고 모든 뭐 지인들 챙기는 거나 이런 거 다 와이프가 하기 때문에 와이프도 아마 같이 싸우는 느낌이었을 거예요. 그리고 나가는 길에 제가 글러브를 이제 들고 있었는데 제가 이쪽은 글러브를 들고 있기 때문에 이쪽은 손을 안 뻗었어요. 사람들이 이제 인사를 해 줘야 되는데. 근데 이쪽을 손목을 채서 하나를 훔쳐 봤어요. 그건 좀 속상해요. 제가 이 혈안 이슈를 하는 이유 중에 가장 큰 게 하나가 그 글러브를 찾고 싶어서요.
It was a very surreal moment when I walked out the stage. I mean, I gave my wife a big hug. I want to give a special shout out to my wife as well, because Korean wives are different, you know, culturally from other countries, because my wife, I'm the one I only think about fighting, and my wife does all the paperwork, tax, all these other things that I would have wasted my time on if my wife didn't help me. So it was if my wife would have felt like she was fighting with me in that octagon. So, you know, during the walkout, I gave her a big hug. And most importantly, somebody took my glove. I mean, I was holding my retirement gloves in my left hand, and I kept my hand folded because I wanted to keep my gloves. And somebody grab hold of my wrist, hold it, and then took one of my gloves. So the biggest reason why I'm on MMA Hour is because I want to, you know, point out the fact that somebody took my gloves and want them back. I want to let the American audience know that, you know, I really want them back.
Okay, so I saw your video and it has, I think, over 1 million views. And so I'm wondering, since you put that video out, and hopefully after this interview as well, any leads on the glove? It sounds like you really do want them back, and it bothers you that you don't have them. And it's a very unfortunate byproduct of all the fans, you know, kind of going on top of you and trying to show you love. I don't think anyone was malicious in that moment, but any sort of leads as to where the gloves may be?
이번에 인터뷰 영상 올리셨잖아요. 조회수 100만이 넘은 걸로 봤는데 그 영상이 이제 올라가고 나서 뭐 장갑에 대한 어떤 추가적인 단서나 이런 것들을 얻은 적이 있는지 사실 뭐 팬들이 뭐 악의를 가지고 한 거라기보다는 이렇게 좀 이렇게 찬성님에 대한 사랑을 보여주려다 보니까 뭐 그런 일이 불미스러운 일이 발생한 것 같은데 그 이후에 뭐 장갑에 대한 단서를 발견한 게 있는지.
또 제가 하나를 던진 거는 이제 연락이 왔어요. 이제 그 한국 사람이 주었다 그러더라고요. 그 사람이 이제 연락이 와서 돌려준다고 하고, 그래서 제가 티셔츠나 뭐 다른 걸로 이제 선물을 드릴 예정이고. 이거를 가져간 건, 이렇게 체해서 가져간 거는 그거는 쪼끔 다르지 않나? 그거는 뭔가 훔쳐간 느낌이죠. 그래서 좀 모르겠고, 다행히 이제 좀 모르겠어요. 아는 사람이 있는 건지 아니면 장난으로 계속 메시지로 저예요, 저예요라고 하거든요. 네. 그런 애들도 있고, 사실 못 찾아도 어쩔 수 없고요. 기왕이면 그래도 마지막 리타이어로 그러니까 하고 싶어요.
So if you look at the UFC footage of me walking out the stage, there's a video of me throwing the other pair of gloves. That I already found. A Korean fan actually found the glove and decided to give it back to me. So I'm probably gonna give him a T-shirt instead for
Wow.
my glove. But the person that took hold of my wrist and took the glove, I mean, I don't know if it's not malicious. I mean, it's basically stealing, and you
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
this glove has, you know, a significant sentimental value to it. So you know, I really wanted to keep him, but I don't know if I could find him. I mean, because like he took it from me. The fan took it from me. So there weren't any special leads that I found after the video was uploaded. I just, you know, I don't know if I could find him.
Okay. I'm going to hold out hope. I think someone is going to, you know, is going to come through because you are so beloved. And speaking of that, why do you think you are so beloved? You know, like the reaction afterwards, watching Twitter, just like the stream of fighters talking about you, showering you with praise on Instagram and things, all the comments and all the posts. And that wasn't just for this fight. That's been the case since we were first introduced to you over a decade ago. No one ever says a bad thing about the Korean Zombie. No one ever says a bad thing about your fights, doesn't want to watch your fights, says that your fight don't deliver, et cetera, et cetera. Why do you think the public, the fans, the media, the fellow fighters have this appreciation, love, and respect for you?
장갑을 못 찾는다는 거는 그건 확실하지 않은 게 어쨌든 많은 사람들이 찬성님을 너무 사랑하기 때문에 누군가는 찾아줄 거라고 굳게 믿는데 얘기 나온 김에 왜 이렇게 찬성님이 사랑을 받는다고 생각을 하는지. 왜냐면
와. 네.
트위터에서도 너무나 많은 사람들이 축하를 해줬고 사실 찬성님이 데뷔할 때부터 뭔가 이렇게 사람들이 막 계속 사랑을 보내고 뭔가 찬성님이 경기를 보고 싶어하고 정말 많은 관심을 받으면서 격투기 선수 생활을 하셨는데 왜 그렇게
왜라고 말하면 사실 저는 이유는 잘 모르겠어요. 모든 UFC 선수들이 마찬가지겠지만, 저는 격투기만을 좋아하고 격투기만을 열심히 했고, 뭐 그렇게 했고, 왜인지는 모르겠지만 사실 고마운 건 굉장히 많이 고마운 것 같아요. 왜인지는 '내가 그렇게 막 매력적인 사람인가?' 이렇게 생각해 봤을 때 솔직히 좀 잘 모르겠고, 그런 건. 그냥 고마운 것 같아요. 그냥 파이팅 스타일 때문인 건지, 어, 이거는 진짜 많이 고맙게 생각.
If you ask me why I'm beloved, I'm not really sure. I mean, I've been focusing on this sport my entire life. Maybe it's my fighting style. I don't think I'm such a lovable person, but maybe it's my fighting style that makes the fans and the media and all the other fighters want to watch my fight. But one thing for sure, I feel really grateful that a lot of people are showing love towards me and the career that I built. So yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Are you uncomfortable with like even you saying, I don't think I'm a lovable person? I disagree. I think there's a lot of lovable qualities about you. So are you uncomfortable when people are showering you with this praise?
어, 혜원이는 그 매력이 없다고 생각을 안 하는데 뭐 이렇게 사람들이 좀 이렇게 막 찬사를 보내고 칭찬해주고 이런 것들이 좀뭐 불편할 때가 있거나 그런지.
아니요, 뭐 전혀 그런 건 없고 너무너무 영광이고 사실 지금도 일주일 정도 지났는데 매일 핸드폰을 볼 정도로 그렇게 제 워크아웃과 나가는 저거를 계속 찾아보고 있고 그래서 저도 너무 좋아요.
I don't feel uncomfortable at all. I mean, it's an honor that a lot of people are showing love. I mean, I've been retired for about a week right now. I'm, basically living with my phone. I'm looking at searching videos of me walking out, videos of people showing love. I mean, I've been doing that for a week now. So, I feel grateful.
Is there one message in particular that you received from someone? I'm sure you received a ton, but one in particular that touched you the most, that stood out?
그 연락을 많이 받으셨을 텐데 가장 기억에 남는 연락, 뭔가
음.
가슴을 울리는 연락이 있었는지.
아 엄청나게 가슴을 울리는 연락이 있었죠. 음. 맥스가 유튜브에서 메시지를 저한테 보냈더라고요. 와 그거 보고 울었어요. 와. 사실 맥스도 그날 경기에서 그날 밤에 이겼는데 그 사실 이긴 애들은 뭐 다 이렇게 본인이 이제 뭐 영광을 가져가고 싶어 하고 본인만 얘기하고 이러고 싶은데 사실 거의 본인 얘기는 거의 안 하고 나에 대한 얘기만 해 주고 나중에 유튜브로 저한테 이제 메시지 보내는 거 보고 너무 고맙다고 생각을 많이 했어요.
I do have one message that is most memorable for me and really rang the bottom of my heart is the YouTube video that Max posted on his YouTube channel. I think it was his only post-fight interview that he uploaded on his YouTube channel. He won the fight. So, he would have, wanted to talk about the fight, how he won, how he looked cool after the fight. He probably wanted all the honor of, winning that fight. But, during the interview, he spends time talking about me, praising my career, showing respect towards Korean Zombie. So I cried after watching that video. It was so respectful for him that, he talked about me so much in that interview. So that was the one memorable message I remember after the fight.
One thing I've always wondered about and was curious how you felt about it. Obviously, a few years ago, you had to take some time off to fulfill your military duties. Um, do you feel, in retrospect, and I'm sure you were happy to do so, and it was an honor for you to do so, but do you feel if you didn't take that time off, I know you said that you felt like it was somewhat of a failure that you didn't get the UFC title. Do you think you would have been able to fulfill your dream if you didn't have that, that 4 year break in your career about a decade or so ago?
그 군복무에 관한 질문인데 사실 군복무를 하면서 3년 6개월간 공백이 생기면서 어떻게 보면 찬성님의 그 궁극적인 목표인 타이틀을 획득하는 데 실패를 했는데 만약에 그 군복무 때문에 발생한 공백이 없었더라면 지금 되돌아봤을 때 어, 타이틀 획득에 성공을 했을 것 같은지.
음. 그랬을 수도 있을 것 같아요. 근데 이제 후회하냐 그러면은 그런 건 아닌 것 같아요. 후회하는 삶을 살고 싶지 않고 그렇게 생각하면 뭐 가장 끝이 없지 뭐. 사실 군복무가 있었고 제가 크게 다친 거 두세 번 뭐 니 뭐 어깨 이렇게 하면서 거의 5년 5 year 5-6 년을 그렇게 됐는데 근데 뭐 진짜로 챔피언이 됐을 수도 있겠지만 아닐 수도 있는 거고 지금 현실만 생각하자면 그때 만약에 계속 싸웠으면 이런 좋은 은퇴를 할 수 없을 거라고 난 생각을 하고 있고 좋은 것만 생각해야 될 것 같아요.
If I didn't serve military duty, maybe I would have maybe I would have won the title, maybe not. I mean, um, but I don't regret taking the 4 year off. I mean, I had some, along with the military duty, I had some major injuries, my knee, my shoulder, and that cost me like 5, 6 years off in my fighting career. But then had I not taken that 5, 6 years off, then maybe, I wouldn't have had such a beautiful retirement. I mean, it all led up to this beautiful moment where I had the perfect retirement. So I don't really regret taking 5, 6 years off. I mean, I might have gotten the title, but I want to think positively, so I don't really think about that.
Do you have a favorite fight?
제일 기억에 남는 시합.
마지막 시합.
My last fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you pick that one?
모든 타이밍, 그리고 모든 그 맥스라는 상대, 관중들 완벽했던 시합인 것 같아요. 뭐 제가 비록 KO로 졌지만 뭐 처음이었어요. 이렇게 시합을 하고 나서 후회되지 않는 경기.
I mean, I choose the Max Holloway fight because everything was perfect. The timing, my opponent being Max Holloway, the audience, the crowd, the love that they showed me. I mean, I had my share of fights in my life, but this fight is the only fight that I have zero regret after the fight has finished. Although I lost via KO knockout, this is the only fight that I have completely zero regret. So I would choose my last fight as the most memorable fight.
Wow, because there's so many to choose from, so many great moments. I think some would be surprised that you're choosing, a loss because you've had so many big wins. But I certainly understand that, and I'm wondering what has life been like for you back home. I saw the video of our pal Jay Park bringing you out at his concert, and everyone showering you with. I think they were singing "Happy Retirement." Were they singing because it's not your birthday, right? It sounded like "Happy Birthday," but it wasn't. So I don't know what that song was. Maybe you could tell me. But like there was, I don't know how many people there, like 100,000 people there singing. So what has life been like for you back home after this great moment?
은퇴하고 나서 한국에서의 삶이 좀 어떤지 하고 사실 그 스토리 보신 것 같은데 박재범님 콘서트 따라갔다가 거기 무대 위에 올라가서 거의 뭐 한 10만 명 정도 거기서
예.
노래 불러준 것 같은데 생일 축하 노래처럼 들렸는데 생일은 아닌 것 같고 뭐 무슨 노래인지 하고 좀 한국에서 삶이 어땠는지.
생일 축하합니다 노래에서 벌스데이를 리타이어먼트로 바꾼 노래이고, 그리고 지금 계속 은퇴 파티를 계속 하고 있어요. 매일 사람들을 만나면서 은퇴 축하한다는 얘기를 많이 듣고 있고, 진짜 은퇴를 번복하는 파이터들이 많잖아요. 저는 지금 절대 그렇게 하면 안 돼요. 친구들이 너무 많이 파티를 해줬기 때문에 지금은 이룰 수 없어요.
Yeah, actually, the song the audience sang for me was the happy birthday tune, but then the birthday swapped to retirement. So it was basically the happy birthday song, but then the lyrics were happy retirement. And I've been throwing like several retirement parties in a row since I came back to Korea. A lot of friends were congratulating me for retiring. A lot of my friends were showing love and the respect towards my career. So, there are a few fighters who come back to the octagon after they announce retirement, right? I've been throwing so many retirement parties. I am never going to be able to make it back to the octagon. So that's how much love I've been having after I returned to Korea.
That's actually amazing that you said that because my next question was going to be, we have seen many people come out of retirement. Can you say definitively that you will never fight again?
다시는 안 돌아올 건지 확실하게 얘기할 수 있는.
근데 아직 내 헐트랑 다 싸울 수 있다고 얘기를 하는데, MMA는 힘들 것 같아. 이거는 내가 이걸 말하는 게 너무 어렵다. 그러니까 이제는 받아들여야지. 받아들여야지.
I mean, my heart and every part of my body says I could totally go fight again, but I think it's time for me to acknowledge that as far as MMA goes, I'll probably not be able to fight again. I mean, I think it's time for me to acknowledge that. So yeah.
And when you say as far as MMA goes, does that mean maybe something else, another form of martial arts or combat?
MMA만인지 뭐 그러면 다른 투기 종목을 할 건지.
만약에 좋은 기회가 있다면 복싱은 한번 해보시죠. 네, 복싱은 뭐 다르지 않나? 복싱은 재밌을 것 같은데.
If I get the opportunity, I mean, maybe boxing. I mean, a lot of MMA fighters try out boxing, right? So,
Yes.
why not me? I mean, boxing would be fun for me. So, yeah.
Okay. And I'll just ask you a couple more questions and then let you go. Thank you so much for the time. Is it true that you really saw the UFC roster watch tweet and that affected you? We see it on Twitter. I don't know that fighters, look at that stuff, but like, is that something that you saw and did it really, kind of hurt your heart when you saw that X next to your name?
그 로스터워치 얘기하는 건데 자기네들 로스터워치를 항상 본대요. 근데 파이터들이 그거를 보는 줄은 몰랐는데 천성님이 정말 그 로스터워치를 보고 좀 정말 타격을 입었는지.
그걸 이제 저도 찾아보지 않는데 누가 이제 스토리에 올려서 이제 저를 태그했기 때문에 제가 봤는데 와, 그 아침에 이제 한국은 이 시간이 다르니까 아침에 일어나서 이제 봤는데 와, 갑자기 좀 세게 왔죠. 와, 나 이제 거기서 조금 이렇게 빨리 삭제를 시키나 좀 싶기도 했고 아쉬웠죠.
So I don't always keep an eye on the UFC roster watch, but then somebody captured the tweet and then posted it on Instagram story and then tagged me. So that's how I got to find out. I knew about the roster watch, but seeing that cross next to my name, it kind of really, struck me hard. I saw it in the morning because of time difference, because I'm in Asia right now.
Yeah.
So I woke up in the morning, I looked at it, and I saw the cross next to my name, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that kind of struck me hard. And I also thought, UFC is really quick in deleting fighters out of the roster. So, yeah, so I thought that was kind of, yeah.
Yeah. How do you want people to remember you? What do you want ultimately your legacy to be?
팬들이 어떻게 찬성님을 좀 기억했으면 좋겠는지.
그래도 항상 요즘에는 그런 사람들 많은 것 같아요. 사실 이거는 관중들을 위한, 관객들을 위한 쇼라고 저는 생각을 해요. 그래서 그 쇼를 하기 위해서 저는 이제 좀 재밌는 경기를 항상 하는 파이터하고.
So I think the sport of MMA is a type of performance and a show for the audience. I always thought that when I went into fight. So I want the fans to remember me as a fighter that always put on a show for the audience.
Mm. And you certainly did that. By the way, speaking of legacy, I don't know if I've ever asked you this question. Could you tell me the story about why you decided to use that zombie song? Because I think it will always forever be linked to you. When did that start and whose idea was it?
그 크랜베리 좀비를 이제 입장곡으로 선택을 하셨잖아요. 그거 그 질문을 옛날에 했는지 모르겠는데 어떻게 그 노래를 선택하게 됐는지 누구 아이디어였는지 좀 한번.
그냥 제가 전에 있던 소속팀의 이제 감독님이 이제 그 노래를 좋아하셨고 그냥 제가 별명이 좀비니까 처음에는 그냥 이 노래 어떠냐 추천을 했고 처음에는 좀 마음에 안 들었어요. 너무 신나지 않고 이렇게 잔잔하게 가는데 이제 은퇴할 때는 사실 최고의 노래죠. 지금 이 노래는 저랑 평생 들을 것 같아요.
So one of the coaches that helped me train in the team that I was in before in the early days of my career, one of the coaches really liked the Zombie by the Cranberries. So it was one of his favorite songs. And since my nickname is Zombie, he was like, why don't you go with this song? At first, I listened to the song. I was like, I don't really like it because it's slow. It's very, down tone. It's not really up tempo, right? So I didn't really like the song. But then that song ultimately gave me the best retirement that one could possibly have. So I'll probably listen to this song forever.
And MMA fans will as well. As far as your next chapter, finally, what do you plan on doing now? It sounds like you still want to be involved in MMA and you have links to fighters as well. But what kind of plans do you have as far as what you'll do now that your career is over?
뭐, 그 향후 행보에 대해서 묻는 건데, 정말 MMA를 계속, 이제 MMA에 계속 관련된 일을 하실 것 같을 걸로 보이는데, 향후 행보가 좀 어떻게 되는지.
일단은 프로 유튜버로 활동을 하고 있고, 일단 미국 팬들은 잘 모르겠지만, 저한테는 1밀리언 팔로워가 있고, 그리고 한국에서 시리즈를 많이 만들고 있고, 지금 또 한국에서 시리즈를 계속 할 거고, 또 계획은 제가 미국으로 건너가서 아시아의 다음 세대들을 찾아보려고 하고 있어요. 아마 굉장히 재밌는 쇼가 될 거고 많은 UFC 파이터들을 초대를 해서 뭐 재밌는 쇼를 한번 만들어 보려고 하고 있습니다.
So mainly it's gotta be YouTube. I'm currently preparing a YouTube series here in Korea as well. And I would also like to go over to the United States and trying to find Asian MMA prospects, go around the States and meet Asian fighters and maybe, invite some UFC fighters to join us in our YouTube series as well. So I'm looking forward to creating a lot of great content, MMA content for the audience to watch.
And what is the YouTube series about?
어떤 내용인지.
아직 뭐 확실한 건 아니지만 아직 뭐 스폰서들이 제가 미국에 있는 스폰서들을 찾아야 하지만 지금 계획은 제가 미국에 있는 동양인 파이터들을 찾아서 그 사람들을 평가하는 뭐 이런 콘텐츠를 만들어 볼까 생각하고 있습니다.
Nothing's decided, and this is all brainstorming and imagination. But I'll probably have to get sponsors as well. But then the main content would be me going around the United States, meeting different Asian fighters. Try to find prospects that have really good talent in MMA, and give them an opportunity, maybe a shot at the contract. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're thinking on it. So yeah.
I love it. You can find many more zombies. And your YouTube channel, like I said, is tremendous. I've been doing this show. I've been interviewing fighters for a very long time. Zombie, I've never done this before, but I feel like it's apropos. Okay, so here I am going to do something for you. I've never shown bias and allegiance like this. But one second, if I can just put this on right here, just for you, out of respect to you, Zombie, because I have so much respect for you. I'm gonna put this on for you.
와!
That's right. One of my favorite sweatshirts right here. By Jay Park. Your T-shirt, I think, was a big part of your legacy as well. That first T-shirt, and this is one of the coolest pieces of merchandise that I own. So much respect to you, my friend. I have so much admiration and love and respect for your career, and I think I speak for all MMA fans when I say that you had an unbelievable run, and the final fight was just as amazing as every one of your fights. Thank you for always giving us the time. Thank you for all the great memories, and I look forward to what you will be doing in your next chapter.
Thank you. 이제 내가 파이터로서 헤드라인 쇼를 나올 일은 없겠지만 그래도 다음에 이제 코치로 나오든 유튜브로 나오든 꼭 다시 나오겠다고.
It does feel sad and unfortunate that I won't be on your show again as a fighter, but then I'll always look forward to appearing on your show again as a coach, as a YouTuber. I don't know. I'll definitely be on your show again.
You are always welcome, my friend. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. All the best. I mean, how could you not love that guy? And shout out to his interpreter as well. Both just very wholesome, very nice individuals. I really felt so good after that conversation, and I really want him to get his second glove back. Happy to hear that he got the first one back, but let's get the Korean Zombie his glove back. If you are out there and you have that glove in your possession, do good for one of the good people in the history of the sport who has entertained us throughout so many years, so many great fights, never in a stinker. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.